Hello friends and welcome to Lipnox VR. My name is Adam and today we're taking a look at BeachHead 2020 on the PC VR, which I took a look at on my Oculus Quest with virtual desktop. So let's get into it. So I'm going to let my assistant here run down some history and some words from the dev first.
First things first, while originally said to be a remake of the 1983 version, that is incorrect.
Actually, it wasn't a remake of the 1983 version. That was just stupid marketing hype from WizardWorks. I'm the programmer of the original BeachHead 2000 and I got the idea from an old 2D Mac game called Airborne. I thought it would be interesting to go full 3D on a similar idea, seeing how computer technology advanced enough from a 15-year-old Mac game to do it. I never played or knew about the Commodore game, with WizardWorks trying to tie the two together.
But on to BeachHead's real history. It was a value-priced shooter for the PC released back in June 2000, so over 20 years ago, that ended up in arcades as motion simulator cabinets, and as the BeachHead Vortek hood. So what is that? Well, it's essentially a VR headset, except the controllers are built into it, and you're stuck in place, with your only movement turning. Naturally, this was a massive success, as the arcade market was eager to try new and interesting ideas only arcades could do. They went on to make several sequels, and there are other games compatible with this VR arcade cabinet.
So from my perspective, the original is basically taking the idea of Missile Command and bringing that to, well, I guess it was 2000 back then. But the real interest in this is the VR conversion that was done in the arcades that kind of had that big space helmet over your head. And the other thing I saw too online, which was pretty hilarious, was there was a bubble version too. That was the motion thing, I guess. So imagine sitting in a bubble. Wonder what Bubble Boy would say with that.
I didn't ask for nothing. No, I'm some kind of bubble boy.
But the title we're looking at today is BeachHead 2020. I played it entirely in VR, and I did use virtual desktop with my Oculus Quest. The big part here is that it is early access, and believe me, early access is the correct wording. For $20, you're basically getting what could be seen as almost a demo. So if you're lacking the nostalgic value for this, if you never played it in the arcades, you never saw it in the arcades, I would probably just say steer clear of this one for now. But looking at the trailer there, it looks like what they're planning has some third-person segments. It definitely seems like there's a lot more to it, and you can already see from the version I played that there's two parts that are unhighlighted that, you know, expand the gameplay even further. And I think that's the biggest thing here, is that it's an early start, and in terms of being in VR, holding the turret gun and blasting things, it's not that it's not fun. It's $20 though, and that's $20 US. So that's quite high for me. And there's another aspect to it that I don't know if it concerns me, but it's strange for sure, and it's called BeachHead dollar. And I actually asked the developer or whoever it was that was working with the game that gave me access to the game for this review, and I'll be perfectly honest, he explained it, so I'm going to here's his words.
Simplifying everything, at some point the BeachHead credits, the in-game currency you win playing the game, will be transformed in a real cryptocurrency called BeachHead dollar. Those player buying the early version are rewarded with a bunch of BeachHead credits that once we open the market will be transformed in BeachHead dollar. In the early stages of development, we're thinking about that, a free-to-play game where you can make profit speculating with the crypto and the market we will open at some point.
So I mean, listening to that, it sounds like perhaps this cryptocurrency aspect could definitely justify the $20 price tag. Who knows? I mean, if you're really into this thing, maybe the game somehow generates money for you. Apparently a BeachHead dollar is worth $3 American right now, so or a BeachHead token, I guess. I don't know. The whole thing is a little bit confusing. Going back to the game again though, because I'll be honest, I don't really have much to say. There's helicopters, there's armed soldier guys. You stay in your turret, you can look all around you, you can use the right analog stick to turn around, but given it's a VR game, I suggest just using your actual body. Turn left and right, look around, shoot the bad guys, do the waves. There's boxes of health, there's missiles and cannons that seem to get unlocked further on, but you can use those, you find those power-ups. And by later on, I mean wave 3 or 4, because, you know, part of the issue with this is that because you're looking at the same perspective all the time, you're probably going to get pretty tired of this. And I played this Operation Warcade game on the PlayStation VR, and I'm pretty sure it has a PC VR port, and that had all these different areas, and that was sort of based on an earlier arcade light gun game. And I kind of feel like this is trying to do something similar to that, but because BeachHead is such a basic game, it makes so much more sense as something in an arcade that you're going to throw money into and play for 5 minutes than something you're going to pay $20 and play for 10 minutes. So that's kind of where I'm at with that, is that you can get out of the menu system, you can walk around that little area there, but there's just nothing to this aside from survive waves of enemies in a turret. There's one turret, there's no other turrets, there's nothing else to mix things up. And again, I remind you, early access. So down the line, this could be totally awesome. It's just such a hard game right now for me to recommend unless you are just riding so hard on that nostalgic value. And I saw BeachHead 2000 in the arcades, and it was eye-catching. It looked really, really cool, and I had a chance to play it only once or twice, but it's definitely a memorable experience because it's most people's first VR experience. So getting to experience it again in VR is a huge value, and that's where the value is. As it stands for me, like I said, I can't recommend this because there's nothing there. And going beyond that, even what is there, you can see on the screen, it does not look that great. It looks a little bit blurry. It kind of reminds me of how PSVR games look on the base PS4, where you kind of, as soon as things are not directly in front of you, it's harder to see them. And you know what? I'm running this on all the maxed out settings, so I kind of feel like before we get more content, the visuals need improving. I don't want to just, bash this game, but there's not a lot to really get excited about here, and that price tag is just too high. I feel like the whole cryptocurrency thing is a whole other side thing that just confuses the whole process even further. So I'm not going to put a review score on this because it's not done. This is an early access. Treat this as a demo that you have to pay $20 to access with a full game coming down the road. If you're excited for that full game, maybe it's worth the money, but it's a not recommended for me. So I'm gonna steer clear of this for now. When it gets more updates, I would love to take a look at it again and reconfirm whether or not it's worth the price tag. And thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll check you out next time. I'm out of here.